Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unfiltered Tales, Season 5, Episode 14. I'm here today with Miss Skyeblu Cutchy. How you doing, Skyeblu?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Rod.
All right, thank you. Before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm a certified relationship, intimacy, and sex therapist, and I work with women and couples to have better sex and intimacy and connection, um, and all that good, juicy stuff in their relationships. And I've been doing this for over 7 years now.
Well, in your bio, it say, uh, an undergrad, you never look back. So how did that occur?
Mm. It's always just been a fascination for me. Like I've always, luckily I had a mother who was pretty open with me about sexuality from a young age, so it didn't feel like super taboo. And then I started taking some classes in college, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I thought it was really fascinating. Um, and then I was like, I'm going to be a therapist. And I figured out you could be a sex therapist. And I was like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want to do.
Okay. Shout out to Dr. Sue Johannesson. She passed away a couple years ago.
I
Uh,
know.
yeah, I've one night I couldn't find a remote on the TV and she just was on TV. I'm like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
So that's just how that started. But okay, so you're here to talk about that. So question is, why do so many women in long-term relationships start to feel like intimacy becomes a chore? And how can they shift that dynamic?
Mm. There's a few things going on, but what I see most commonly when working with female clients is they're probably not having sex that they actually enjoy,
Mm,
and it starts to feel like a chore. Like the metaphor I like to use is, what if you were given a meal every week that
hmm
you didn't really like, but you ate it because you wanted to make your partner feel happy because they made it for you?
hmm
Over time, you're going to be like, ugh, I don't want to eat this anymore, right?
hmm
It's similar with sex. And a lot of women are socialized to want to make their partners happy and not don't say no, because you don't want your partner stepping out and finding it elsewhere. And like these are messages that women get taught from a young age.
Okay.
And I think it really influences like not enjoying sex over time.
Mm. So you don't want to say no, but you feel like you don't want to do it neither. So now you not, I guess, putting your best foot forward. So,
Well, I think women just feel stuck. They're like, well, I don't like what's happening, but I don't know what to do about it. Like a lot of women don't know how to ask for what they want in bed. They might feel embarrassed about it. They might feel guilty, they don't want to make their partner feel bad. Or some partners have bad reactions. Like they'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you don't like the thing that I like. And so they're like, oh, well, I can't talk to you about it. Um, so it's complicated. I help couples like learn how to talk about sex well.
mhm.
So if you can communicate and you can actually tell your partner, like, I don't like this thing, but I'd like to try this thing. If a partner can receive that
Mhm.
well and not, have a big negative reaction, they can actually start talking about the type of sex they both want to have. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But say if certain things that you're into, he might not be into, or she might not be into, how do you get them on the same page, either to put it in or take it out? What
Mm-hmm.
what that person wants to do? How do you do that?
Well, you start with just a conversation
hmm
where both partners are feeling like grounded and curious,
hmm
And I tell people, just because you talk about something doesn't mean you're committing to doing the thing, right? So take the pressure off.
Hmm.
Um, if someone likes something that you don't like, that's okay. It's
Okay.
that's life, right? We're not always going to want the same things. But can you just talk about it and be curious about what your partner likes? And maybe through the conversation, you're like, I might want to try some of that. I've never done that before. I feel a little nervous, but I'm willing to try. Or you're like, you know what? That is just not my thing, and I don't want to try it. And that's also okay, right? We always want to honor when people say no. We don't want to push anyone or force anyone to do something they don't want to do. That's not good for anybody. So in that case, like if you're the partner hearing no,
Hmm.
it's okay if you feel disappointed. It's okay if you feel sad. But you don't want to push your partner or force them into something they don't want to do because that's not consensual, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it's hard. I recognize that it's hard to hear no, but that's also part of life. We don't always get the thing that we want.
Correct, but what about just, I guess I would say just trying it, but putting a safe word, and if it's like going too far, to say like, nah, we need to stop right now.
Oh, totally. I think safe words are a great idea.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you're trying something, um, I mean, at any point, I have a safe word with my partner. And
Okay.
at any point, I know that if I say my safe word, he'll be like, oh, I need to slow down or I need to stop and I need to check in,
Right.
and vice versa.
I get you. I totally get you. Okay, safe word. What is your safe word, if we can ask? Okay. So next question. What role does emotional connection play in reigniting physical desire? And how can someone start building that if they start to feel distant from their partner?
For women especially, I know this is not black and white. I know men love like intimate emotional connection too, but I think for women it's really important to feel seen and
Hmm.
like emotionally safe with their partner. And if they're not feeling that way in their relationship, they probably don't feel open to sex or physical intimacy.
Hmm.
So, in my practice, I see a lot of men who are like, well, I want more sex. Why isn't this happening? And the woman is saying, well, we don't connect and we're not having emotional connection and I don't feel safe. So, how do you expect me to have sex with you?
Right.
Um, so, it's super important for all people to like feel seen and
Hmm.
heard. And most of the time, that makes people feel way more open to physical intimacy.
Right. Okay. I get you. So you talk about pleasure without pressure. Can you explain what that means and why is it such a game changer?
Great question. So, when we feel pressure, like either internal pressure, like I have to do something because I'm supposed to, or if it's external
Mhm.
pressure, like I'm saying to my partner, hey, you have to do this thing for me because if you love me, you'll do it. That's pressure. Any type of pressure is a huge break, meaning like it's going to make people feel really turned off. And that creates anxiety as well. And most of the time, people will just be like, ugh, and like lean out and distance themselves or avoid intimacy if they're feeling pressure.
Mhm.
So I recommend pressure free sex and intimacy. And that means if your partner says no to something,
Mhm.
you need to be okay with that. And if, and vice versa. If anyone says, no, I don't want that thing, like, that's okay. Let's take the pressure off. Let's explore like what other types of things you all want to participate in. and get curious about. And if you want to say no at any point, you can. That just makes people feel way more open and way safer to explore sex and intimacy when we take the pressure off.
Okay, so you take the pressure off with, just exploring and having these safe words and talking them through it.
Mm.
So what if they still feel after what we done, I'm not really into it. So now you're still putting pressure on me to still go back and do it again when it's like I don't really want to do that because I didn't like it.
Well, in the ideal situation, if a partner is like, I tried that thing and I didn't really enjoy it, so I don't want to do it again. Hopefully the person hearing that will be like, okay, I hear you. You don't want to do that again. I understand. And if they feel any like disappointment or sadness about that, that's okay. But they need to go soothe themselves and take care of themselves. But don't pressure your partner because that's just going to shut doors to more intimacy.
Okay. But we want to open up more doors. So
We want to open up more doors. Yeah, that so putting pressure on people is going to shut doors and get you less of what you want, which is probably more sex and intimacy.
oh, there's a question. I didn't see this question pop up. How to avoid your mate from going outside if they don't budge on exploring new things?
Okay, so if you're like I'm in the partner's position, I'm saying I don't want to explore this thing, but you're afraid if you say no, your partner is going to cheat on you. I think that's how I'm interpreting this question. Um, Hopefully, in the ideal world, you're still talking about this and it's an open communication um, with curiosity. And if that feels too hard on your own, I recommend like getting some support from someone like me, a sex therapist who can really like help you have this conversation in a healthy way. um, if someone is choosing to like step outside the relationship because they're like, well, I want to get what I want and you're not giving it to me,
Hmm.
there's probably some underlying problems, deeper problems that you need to get some support probably from a therapist, I'd imagine.
Mm, okay, support from a therapist. Okay, that question was answered. So you work with a lot of women who feel disconnected from their bodies or desire. What's really going on beneath the surface when someone just says, I'm not in the mood?
Um, it's complicated. I mean, she could just not be in the mood, and that's totally fine, right? That's a thing. That's a human experience. Sometimes people might say I'm not in the mood because maybe they don't want to be honest about like I'm not enjoying the type of sex and intimacy that we're having, so this I just say I'm not in the mood. Or I think that women sometimes have a harder time connecting with
Hmm.
uh, their turn ons because they might not know how. I think that, men are often encouraged to like get in touch with your turn ons, get in touch with your sexuality. And a lot of women are socialized to like distance themselves from that because it's not, you know, it's like slutty. I'm putting that in air quotes. So,
How do you not make it slutty then?
well, I kind of encourage women to get in touch with their sensual self. And if
Hmm.
you want to embrace the word slut or being slutty, like I encourage you to do that as well. But I think that women might struggle to know like how to feel turned on and what they enjoy in the bedroom. And so you're just not in touch with like how to feel turned on and how to get in the mood.
Hmm.
And there are like ways to do that. So like uh actually there's two types of desire, and knowing your type of desire helps you get in the mood?
Well, what are the desires? The type of desires, the two types.
Great question. So the first type is spontaneous desire,
Hmm.
and more men experience spontaneous desire, and that's like if I see something, hear something, feel something, taste something, and my brain goes, "Ooh, I like that," you might feel turned on because you're so it's like a thing you're exposed to spontaneously, and then you're like, "Ooh, I'm thinking about sex and intimacy now." That's spontaneous. Responsive desire is a little bit different. It's a slow burn. It's like, in the morning, I might have to have a nice shower and like get in touch with my body. And then I might read some erotica in the afternoon. And then I start thinking about sex and intimacy. And then slowly my brain gets online and goes, okay, I like thinking about this. Now I'm kind of turned on and now I'm ready for sex and intimacy. That's a responsive desire type. And a lot of women fall into that camp and they don't know how to get there. And their partners don't know how to get there either. Like people just don't know that there's two types.
Right. I didn't know there was two types until you just told me.
There you go.
So that was just different. So I respect that. So what's the first thing a woman should do if she wants to reconnect with her body and feel sexy again, but has no idea where to start?
That's a great question. So, what I recommend is using your five senses. So, what you hear, feel, taste, touch, and smell. That's the fifth one. So, what you want to do is in like let's pretend you're taking a shower. You want to be in the moment and like feel the water on your skin. You want
Hmm.
to hear the water, dripping, hitting the walls. You want to maybe taste the water. You want to smell the soap and the shampoo. You
Hmm.
want to just observe, what you're doing or the water or so you're using all of these senses to like be in the moment,
Hmm.
and you can do this at whatever you're doing at any time of day. You can do it while you're washing the dishes, while you're on a walk, while you're having sex, while you're driving the car, while you're like dancing in a club. Like you can do it at any moment, but
Hmm.
you're reconnecting to your body and noticing what feels good to you in that moment. Does
Mm.
that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, but I was thinking on the lines of like, just having like low self-esteem or something like that. Like this is why I don't feel this type of way, or um
Oh, yeah.
that's the way I look at it. When you're trying to say you're trying to bring it back, like how are you
Mm.
bringing it back? How would like what thrives you to actually bring it back? I don't know, but I guess you want to bring it back. Oh,
Bring the sexy back.
yes.
What you mean? I think that's a mindset thing. Like, what if I were in that position, and which I have been, by the way.
Hmm.
Um, as a woman, I understand there's so many messages out there telling us what is sexy
Hmm.
and who looks sexy and who deserves to be sexy, and it really messes with our heads. So what I recommend is you ask yourself, what do I think is sexy?
Right.
What is sexy to me? What parts of my body do I enjoy?
Hmm.
And what parts of my body do I think are beautiful the way that they are? And so it's a lot of mindset shifting on the inside. You got to reclaim what you think is sexy, what makes you feel sexy right now.
Okay. I got you. So basically reclaiming your status or reclaiming your position to make you feel this way that you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to kind of be like, everyone else can have their opinion, but what matters is what I think.
And that's how it should be. That's how it should
Mm-hmm.
be in all aspects of life. No matter what anybody thinks is about how you feel about yourself. What
Mm-hmm.
you think. So, what are some common myths or misunderstandings women carry about libido, sex, or intimacy that you help them unlearn?
Hmm. So specifically about libido, I think there's a myth out there for all humans, but especially for women, that like if someone says, "Hey, I want to have sex," you're supposed to just be like, "I want to have sex too right now." And for some people, that is true,
Hmm.
especially if you have a more spontaneous desire type. That can be true.
Right.
But for a lot of people and women, that is not the case. You might need a lot of warm up, right? Like that responsive desire type that I described. And so, um, if you're like, there's something wrong with me, I feel broken because I don't want sex like in the moment all the time,
Hmm.
there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. Maybe you just need to learn how to work with your desire type. Um, and another important thing to know is that libido goes up and down depending on your mental health,
Hmm.
depending on your physical health, depending on the context of your life. If there's stressful things going on,
Hmm.
that will affect your libido too, and that's all natural and normal. So if it's going up and down, that's okay. That's a human experience.
Right. I get it. You just said some people got to be warmed up. Some people need to be warmed up like like a 1972 Buick. Just got to start the fire some type of way. Just can't just go straight and dive into it.
Totally. Maybe you need like, a really nice date night that you've planned, and you go out dancing and you have nice chats and then you hold hands for a while, and then all of a sudden your brain's like, "Okay, I might want some intimacy now." And that's totally fine.
I get it. You know, uh, what does it look like to create a pleasure first approach to intimacy, especially when your life is busy or stressful?
Yeah. So when I say pleasure focused intimacy, it's really asking yourself and your partner, what would feel good to me right now?
Right.
And what does that mean about what kind of sex I want to have? So a lot of people think of sex in like one way, and I ask clients this when I coach them,
Hmm.
like, what does sex look like to you? And a lot of people will imagine like penis and vagina penetration.
Hmm.
That's just one kind of sex.
Right.
Sex can, there's all this other stuff. There's all this other fun, pleasurable stuff that we can do that can also be sex. Is
I'm
it
confused at that as well. like, like,
okay? Can I be explicit on it?
go
Can I?
ahead, talk
Yeah.
your shit. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So sex can mean anything you want it to mean. It could
Right.
be just making out on the couch for the night. It could be having a sensual shower and just like touching each other's bodies. That could be sex.
Okay.
It could be just playing with toys and not having orgasms.
Mm.
That can mean sex too. So when I say pleasure first, I'm saying, what kind of sex would you like to have that would feel good to you and your partner in that moment? And it can look like anything as long as it's pleasurable for the two of you.
Okay. Got you.
Is that less confusing?
It's less confusing now that you explain it to our listeners. Yes, because I'm like, hold up, there's only one way. But I guess there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah, it's if we can expand our idea of what sex looks like,
Hmm.
there's so much fun stuff that we can do that's
Right.
pleasurable. And that also takes the pressure off, right?
Hmm.
Because like maybe we don't want to have penis and vagina penetrative sex tonight for whatever reason, but we
Right.
can do all this other stuff and it's just as good.
Got you. Understanding. Understanding. Last one before we get out of here.
Okay.
What would you say to a woman who secretly fears she's broken because she doesn't want sex the way she used to?
I would say I have a lot of compassion for you because I know where that comes from. And I would invite you to take the pressure off of yourself. You're not broken. It's complicated, like we've been talking about on this show. There's a lot of layers that go into wanting sex. Um, and I would encourage you to like sit with yourself and be like, well, what's going on for me? Why do I not want intimacy or sex as much as I used to? Is it a lack of connection? Is there physical stuff going on, mental stuff, life stuff? Um, do I feel any shame around sex and the things that I want? Like, just get curious. Like, what's going on for you? And if you feel like you need some support with that, like, talk to your friends or talk to a therapist, um, or talk to your partner if you feel comfortable with that.
Okay. So if anybody wanted to reach you, where could they reach you at?
Well, I have a free Facebook community called Thriving Women in Relationships.
Hmm.
And that's a free community where I give lots and lots of support. So I would recommend finding me there, Thriving Women in Relationships Facebook group. Yeah,
Okay.
or this website here, you can contact me through my website as well.
Yeah, we have the website going across the bottom of the screen, www.intimacywithblue, just BLU, don't add the E, BLU. So
Yes,
again, thank you for coming, Miss Sky Blue. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. You're welcome back anytime you want to come back.
thank you. I really had fun. Thanks for letting me be here and chat about this stuff.
We just like to inform the people what's going on in the world today. Some people might want to ask questions, but they don't know how to ask them. So that's why we're here, for me to ask the questions, for you to explain, for them to get the information.
I love that so much. Thanks for creating the space.
All right. Thank you. So next week, we'll be back, same time, 7 o'clock, with the author, Nikki Allen, author of Loved You and Hated You, a story that almost erased me. So same time next Wednesday, 7 o'clock. There won't be a special next week. You got 2 episodes a day. It won't be only one show next week. So thank you again, Sky Blue, for coming on. Remember www.intimacy with blue, BLU, and you can I've yes, she's on Instagram, Facebook, and other spaces. If you want to speak to her, just make sure you hit the website up. So we'll see you next week. Thank you.